Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about the rumor that the New York Jets are interested in trading for Washington Commanders backup quarterback Jacoby Brissett. I'll also be going over this week's injury report. If you guys are new, please subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well. About 50 subscribers away from 11,500. Also check out Mojo, use code Pedro. And a huge shout out to Mojo for sponsoring this video. They just launched their new app, Mojo Fantasy, and I've been in love with it so far. They've got thousands of NFL and MLB player props. You build a portfolio, and the better your portfolio performs, the more cash you win. Pick as many props as you want and try to beat the crowd. You're not going against the books. It's a whole new way to play fantasy. The props act like stocks, so you can buy and sell live all game long. So if a prop's not going your way, you can pull out at the end and make some money back. You can cash in on a hot start or hang on and let them ride. That's it. Make picks, make moves, and make money. Download now on the Apple App Store and use my code Pedro for a 100% deposit match up to $100 for your first time deposit. Going to be doing some giveaways with them with some jerseys, and you're going to have to join the contest to get that jersey, including a Jahan Dotson signed jersey. So check them out. First link in the description and the comment section. All right, so let's start off with the Jacoby Brissett report. This was reported yesterday by ML Football, and they didn't give a source, so I'm assuming it's them. They do have close to 100,000 followers on Twitter, and they do post a bunch of NFL stuff. I don't know how reliable they are, so just take this with a grain of salt. But obviously, Aaron Rodgers went down on Monday, which is really disappointing for the NFL, for the Jets, and he's out for the year with ruptured Achilles, I believe, or torn Achilles. So the Jets right now are rolling with Zach Wilson, but they might have to move on to someone else or try to get at least a backup in. So that could be Jacoby Brissett, could be Case Keenum, could be really anyone. But the Commanders might not want to trade Jacoby Brissett. So let's talk about it a little bit. I don't know. I saw a lot of people talk about, okay, we'll trade Jacoby Brissett, but only if it's for like a first-round pick. And for me, I'm sorry, the Jets aren't giving up a first-round pick for a guy like Jacoby Brissett. And nothing wrong with Jacoby. Jacoby's a good backup in this league, but a first-round pick is a lot to give up for him. I think a second-round pick is still a lot. I think what is the most realistic and highest we would get is a third-round pick, like a conditional third. Maybe you could do even a conditional second if you have whatever, the conditions, Jacoby Brissett throws whatever amount of touchdowns or plays this amount of games, then they could give us a second, maybe from Green Bay. I don't know. I think that's a lot to ask. I just don't think that's the case. A third or fourth round pick is much more realistic, and I don't know. Maybe you do it. I mean, if you feel good about Sam Howell, obviously you like Brissett because, not only is he a good backup, but he's a good mentor, but you got a lot of that mentorship in from March when, Brissett came in, which maybe he didn't start mentoring then, but let's say from once the draft started and they start getting a little bit work, so let's say they start, May till now, which has been a decent amount of time, till May till September 13th, that is a decent amount of time for Brissett to, show things to Sam Howell. Obviously, you'd still like to have him in the room, but if you can get an asset for him, especially for a guy who I believe is on a one-year deal, I wouldn't mind it. And I know, again, people want us, want a first, second round pick. I just don't think that's going to happen unless it's conditional. Also, something maybe they want to give up, an offensive lineman, but also their offensive line is not great, and that's part of the reason Rodgers got hurt. Maybe not on that play, but he was getting, pressured a lot in the preseason, I think, when he played, and when I was watching Hard Knocks, that was a talking point, throughout a little bit as well, that he was getting pressured a lot and he was frustrated with his offensive line. So I don't know if we could get anyone. Maybe Mekhi Becton, that could be a developmental piece, but I just don't know if this really makes sense for us or for them, really. So I guess it could make sense for them, but not for the price that people are talking about. I would really be interested to see what the price would be. I'm thinking, again, third or fourth round pick. So yeah, I would consider it if you feel really good about Sam Howell, but then obviously you got to make some. I mean, you're gonna have to promote not Jacoby Brissett, Jake Fromm, but maybe bring someone else in as well. It's definitely something interesting because, of course, like Jacoby Brissett is a very good insurance policy. If Howell goes down, like Jacoby Brissett can win you some games, and that's how the coaching staff's gonna be, thinking about things. But as a fan, if Sam Howell goes down, like Jacoby Brissett getting us to 8-9 wins, what does that really do for us? What does that really do for us in terms of long-term future? At that point, you might as well just ride out Jake Fromm, get yourself to not many wins, and get a QB in the future. That's very, again, all this is hypothetical, so we'll just move on. But that's kind of my thoughts. Very little chance it happens, and I think we probably wouldn't want to move on from him for the price the Jets would want, and the Jets wouldn't give up what we want for. That's kind of it right there. So Quan Martin, concussion, he was not there today in practice dealing with that concussion. Sorry, he's in concussion protocol. Probably will be out for the game. It's going to be iffy. They like to get a couple of days in of practice, and for a guy like Quan Martin, they probably want to make sure he's fully good to go until he comes back from that concussion. Curtis Samuel limited with a hip. That's new. Not concerned about that. Sam Cosmi and Terry were full, and then Chase Young was limited. And yeah, nothing new there. They said that this week is when he starts contact, so I guess he did do some contact drills. I think he should be good to go for this game. I mean, you get a full week of contact. I think that should be enough to prepare him for the for the game on Sunday, but I guess that's not how they feel, or we'll see. I mean, it was reported before the game that, he was not expected. Sorry, for some reason I have my flashlight on. That he was not expected to play for the first 2 weeks of the season at least. So just something to watch out for. But yeah, good to see Terry full. Same thing with Cosmi. And then Quan Martin probably will be out. Curtis Samuel will be something to monitor if he's limited tomorrow. Then it starts to become a thing. And then let's look at what else they had to say. Ron Rivera talked about, Cameron Cheeseman's recent struggles, and he says it is concerning more than anything else. And I agree with that. I mean, cannot be happening. It's one thing to do it in training camp. It's another thing to do it in the preseason, and it's another thing to do it in the regular season. So he's had more than enough time to correct this, and at some point, you either got to go back to your old way that you were snapping before or step up, because you cannot have stuff like that. And Tressway was saving the day there, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that all the time. And real quick, a plug to my Twitter while I bring up this tweet right here. I was talking about Jabril Cox. Like, I would love to bring, Jabril Cox is on the practice squad right now. I would love to call him up and see what he can do. The linebackers weren't anything special this week. They weren't anything crazy. I mean, Jamin I thought was solid, and, Cody Barton wasn't great. And then, the other linebackers didn't play. So I wouldn't mind bringing up Jabril Cox this week, see what he can do. Maybe he can play on special teams, but give him some snaps on defense for sure. And then let's see, there was another tweet by JP that's saying we haven't gone 2-0 since 2011. So it has been a long time since we've gone 2-0. This is a very winnable game. It's not going to be easy, but it's a winnable game. Sunday at 4:25. I love the 1 o'clock games for the Commanders. So 4:25 isn't terrible, but it's at Denver. So they got the home field, and of course, the elevation's there. So that's going to be something that people are going to have to adjust for. And, we played I feel like we played the Broncos 2 years ago. It might have been at Denver, so a lot of these guys were already there. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with injury updates. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys check out Mojo. First link in the description. Use code Pedro, capital P, and then lowercase EDRO for a first-time deposit match of up to $100. It's a really cool new app. Check them out. Peace, guys.